There'd be no good in Holland then, would there? Netherlands.
Recording.
It's the only volume I know.
Hey, come on a Wednesday night. I'm not used to crowds this size.
Morning all. Fancy we might still be there at half time.
Very true.
Carry on going on about when. I'm going to take that off you.
I haven't said anything about Wednesday yet.
I had Wednesday night.
Is that any better volume-wise, Keith?
No, it ain't really. But don't worry, we'll get by. If you get too bad, I'll mute you.
How about that?
No, it's still loud.
Still loud.
You're too loud, man.
So,
Stay-o, stay-o. Daylight come and me wanna go
I'll
home.
mute you.
You're still too loud, man.
You don't want to say something yourself.
Dave,
All right.
Dave, on the John Longstaff scale, you're about a 4.3, which is twice the Richter scale.
You'll keep my Richter out of this.
You can get ointment for it, John.
In this left hand corner, we're just had it.
I don't know. Maybe.
Interestingly, Ian, reading his book about Emil Zatopek, I was interested to see that he won an inter-forces cross-country race at RAF Halton just after the war.
The RAF Halton is...
Near Wendover, Buckinghamshire. Yeah.
That's right, and I had a fabulous officers' mess there. That was a big, glorious mansion at one stage. They're moving. Halton was set up by Trenchard as the apprenticeship school. So all the airmen were trained. They've got other ones now, School of Training at Knocking and what have you. But Halton, they're moving it with all the contraction of the Air Force. They're moving Halton to merge with Cranwell.
Are they?
So everything, all the Cranwell.
Oh, I spent some time in the sergeant's mess there, not in the officers' mess. Yeah.
There's the officers' mess. There's the nursing officers' mess. I used to go there regularly. I was a bit funky, you know. And then there's the airman's
Night nurse.
Yeah.
night nurse. Oh, several.
Never used to depart from the same door that you entered.
1 an hour.
Right, chaps. Okay, let's we get cracking. Has anyone got any news of any of the group? So, John or anyone?
I was talking to Eric yesterday. For the first time, he sounded really down. Eric is not known for sounding down. He's got really good sense of humour, really upbeat, and even in the early stages of his wife's illness, it was really positive. But yesterday, it was really down. His wife's in Ashgate Hospice and really poorly, and he himself is quite poorly at the moment with a as yet undiagnosed stomach issue. He's had blood tests, which have indicated there is a problem. And in the next couple of weeks, he's going to have an endoscopy. So I hope for better news from him next time I talk to him.
She normally looked after him, I recall. Was that be right? So
that's right, yeah, that's right. Until she was
ways.
taken ill a few months ago.
Yeah, that's so sad.
Jenny's sister's just been admitted to hospital with COVID, and she's in a bad way. Saw a picture of her yesterday where she was wearing some sort of Quatermass space helmet. Had it been under different circumstances, it would have been...
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, under the circumstances, she looked extremely ill. Her husband's been in at the same time, but he looks like he's going to be discharged.
Good.
Jenny's sister has got underlying health problems as well, so she's...
Which hospital is she in?
Telford.
Oh, well, good luck to her with that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. The son's got it as well, but he's in the early stages, so hope he doesn't develop. But Sandra is poorly.
Did she have a jab?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Uh,
I think, is Keith the only one of us on here who's had a jab?
no, I've had one.
Have you?
I had one.
Yeah.
Because where I am in this mental institution, I'm staff. No. I am. No, I do the morning roll call.
Oh, is that why you're wearing that
Yeah,
nurse's uniform? Yeah.
And I've told them they can only die on a Sunday night or a Monday morning because I only put the form in weekly. And to do it any other time would be awkward. So very good.
So is this where they
You're
put
a
the lunatics?
stalwart. Well, you're a wart anyway. Yeah.
Is this where they put the lunatics in charge of the asylum then, Ian?
Correct. You've got it in one, Paul. Come and join us.
Oh, I qualify. I
Don't
qualify.
need you the 17-seater coach to come and see you, Ian.
Actually, Paul, all joking apart, there's it sounds like Heidi this. There's an entertainments manager here, activities manager, bless her. She's not doing much at the moment because of COVID and what have you. But I sent her the links to the 2 websites I run, including the Sporting Memories. And she's really into getting some of the less demented ones, doing the recordings. And I mentioned to Keith, when I walk the dogs, I meet people because they don't talk to me, they talk to the dogs. And a couple who have got this mobile opera, and I thought I'd tell John this mobile opera thing, because they can't perform in theatre, they take the opera to people. They did carol singing and all sorts. They turn up to people's doors and say, "We're going to sing for you." Fuck off, we don't want you. Get stuff out of it. Anyway, they've offered to come on these Zoom meetings to sing for us.
Oh,
They must
I
be
knew you'd love
desperate.
it.
No,
I knew
no,
you'd love it.
they couldn't afford the fee.
You've got to be a
Got
little
enough
bit
problems
mental
of our own.
Yeah.
to live down in Oxford, but it's worth doing. Just
Get them on.
force
Ian.
yourselves.
Get them on. Get them on one more.
They genuinely, the guy, if you're interested, he would come and give a talk about the operas he's done and what have you. I said, if you're into banter, you'll be very welcome. I hope that's our turn. Yeah.
Ian, do you work with Nurse Ratchet?
No, Gladys Emanuel. Good Gladys. They're all Romanians and Filipinos here. Tells you a story.
All right.
Because they're cheaper, but they're very, very good. They are excellent.
Well,
Anyway,
get
I've
them
got
on.
my route map is sorted out. I'm in this little bungalow, this cell, for the next few years. And when I turn, when you'll have to tell me when it happens. I can
I've
move.
got the silver bullet ready.
I can move through to HQ.
Right.
Sorry about that. Just had to get it off my chest.
No,
Sense of humour. Sense of humour. It's great. Yeah, great.
So we'll move straight on to Lowell's News of the Week. News of the Week.
News of the week.
News of the week.
News of the week.
Well, you never ask. Before we start about the news, I want to warn you good people about the risks of the scams and frauds you get on the internet. I got scammed recently. I sent off for a penis enlarger and they sent me this.
Oh God! What time is it? I've got to edit that out. What time is it?
And before you ask, Keith, yes, you can borrow it.
But he wouldn't know where to point it. That's the problem. Does it work, Paul?
Fun?
Does it work?
Don't make much difference. We'll carry on. Athletics. London Marathon run organisers are very optimistic a record 50,000 runners will be able to take part in the race when it is held on the 3rd of October this year. The 2020 race involved only elite runners around a specially designed closed-loop course around St James's Park because of the coronavirus pandemic. Event director Hugh Brasher said he hoped the vaccination programme would allow amateur runners to participate this year. As well as those taking part in the actual race, another 50,000 will be offered the chance to run or walk the race virtually across the globe during a 24-hour window. Are you going for it, Paul?
I've got my entry in, yeah. We don't find out until February the 8th.
How does it work, Paul?
What?
The virtual?
The virtual,
Yeah.
you download an app from your phone, which records your distance and your time, and you do it wherever you want to do. And in that 24-hour window, you can do it at any time. So you can do it anywhere around the world.
What's it measuring? Your pulse rate? Your what?
No, it measures distance. It's a GPS tracker.
Oh,
So it measures how far you've gone, and it
right.
shows your elapsed time as well.
Okay.
We did it this year. My wife
Or
was
collapse time in my case.
Yeah, of
Yeah, I did it this year.
Yeah.
course you did.
I did it in less than an hour.
Go on then.
Well, I got in car.
I should have known.
Get us out of this.
Yeah. He also did part of triathlon in Bath.
How does it work, Paul, for the runners? Is it a lottery to get entry?
Yes, it is a lottery. Yeah, they've had in the last 2 years they've had over 450,000 applicants
Right,
for
okay.
50,000 places.
Wow.
So is your application for the actual race or for the virtual one?
For the actual race.
Right.
Even if I get in, I probably won't do it this year because I'm due to run the Chicago Marathon the following week, and I didn't fancy running back to back. But
How are you
If
going
she
to fit in all the quarantining?
well, who knows about quarantine at the moment?
They'll not be doing Chicago Marathon. They'll not be anywhere near.
No.
Wait and see. It's a long way away.
Well,
It's 9 months away now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right then. Right then.
You've got to assume it will do.
Yeah.
Got to be positive.
Per Adua Ad Astra.
Well, nip on to tennis. Now, 5-time finalist Andy Murray will miss the Australian Open after a solution to find a workable quarantine following his positive test for coronavirus could not be found. He was set to fly out last week to Melbourne, but was not allowed to travel on a charter flight after being found to have COVID. Murray, who was gutted not to go, had hoped to safely travel and compete as planned on the back of a negative test. Bit on cycling. Now, former British cycling and Team Sky chief, Dr. Richard Freeman, crossed the line and went way beyond it when ordering a banned drug for an unnamed rider. The medical tribunal has been told. Almost 2 years after it began, the case resumed last Friday with the final submission of the Grand Medical Council. Dr. Freeman denies having testosterone delivered to the National Velodrome in 2011 in order to help an athlete to dope. Now, Chris Froome, he believes he can recover from injury to win a 5th Tour de France and become the race's 2nd oldest winner. Battling for form last season after a serious injury in 2019, the 35-year-old Briton will ride this year's race for his new team, Israel's Startup Nation, and he said, "To win at my age and coming back from injury is driving me on." Formula One. Jenson Button has joined the Williams team as a senior advisor. The move takes Button back to the team that gave him his Formula One debut in 2000. before he went on to become 2009 world champion. Starting on pole position a total of 8 times in his career, Button won 15 Grand Prix with 50 podium finishes. Now, let's bit on female driving. Dutch racing driver Maya Wung has become the first female to become a member of the Ferrari Driving Academy. The 16-year-old secured her place when she impressed judges at an evaluation camp at Ferrari's Maranello base, where she won the Girls on Track Rising Stars programme, organised by Formula One's governing body, the FIA, with Ferrari. Bit on horse racing and a bit of a shock. Grand National winning jockey, 24-year-old David Mullins, has surprisingly announced his retirement from the saddle. Mullins, son of trainer Tom and nephew of Irish champion trainer Willie, won the big race at Aintree in 2016 when he was only 19 years old. He returned to action after suffering a severe back injury in a bad fall in October 2019, and he rode a total of 211 career winners. He now hopes to forge a career in bloodstock sales after saying that his heart just wasn't in racing anymore. Now, I refer to him winning the Grand National. Does anybody know what the horse's name was in 2016?
Gigi.
A 33-1 shot. Any guesses?
Nope.
Nope. Rule the World.
No.
All right. Rule the world. Yeah.
Rule the World. 33-1 outsider. Now, martial arts. Now, former two-weight world champion Conor McGregor was left stunned on his return to the UFC as Dustin Poirier claimed victory in their rematch at UFC 257. McGregor came out of retirement for a third time to face fellow 32-year-old Poirier at Abu Dhabi's Fight Island. Although the Irishman edged the first round, Poirier unleashed a flurry of punches to seal a technical knockout 2 minutes
And an AK-47.
into round 2. I'm gutted. It's a tough one to swallow, said McGregor after the fight.
It won't be when you've got no teeth in.
Anybody see it at all? Watch it on YouTube if you haven't. Does anybody know what UFC stands for?
Has it got an ultra in it?
Ultimate fight.
Yeah,
Is
Ultimate.
it ultimate fighting or something?
Yeah, Ultimate Fighting Championship.
It's United without the S.
The duration in a standard fight is 3 5-minute rounds, and if it's a title fight, it's 5 5-minute title rounds. Now, the prize money McGregor got for losing was £18.25 million.
What?
The chap who won the fight got £730,000.
Hey,
There you are.
how's that work?
Heroes money.
Yeah.
They're just thugs. Licensed thugs.
Yeah. I'm going to say if they want an ultimate fight, they need to get downtown in Sheffield on a Saturday night.
Yep. Or Mosborough.
Yeah, even, yeah.
Yates's in Liverpool was always good for a fight. We
Yates
never
is
knew
one
why.
lunch.
We never knew why, but it was always good for a fight.
Yeah.
Running up onto a bit of cricket. In
Yeah.
the second test match, played in Gaul, England beat Sri Lanka by 6 wickets to win the 2-match series 2-0. Thanks to a brilliant innings of 186 by Joe Root, England only trailed Sri Lanka's first innings total of 381 by just 37 runs. Bowling Sri Lanka out in their second innings for 126 meant it was the lowest ever score by the home team ever on this ground, beating the previous lowest score of 135, which they made in the first test of this series. The best player for the Sri Lankans was spinner Embaldinha, who took 10 wickets in the match. And he also scored 40 in their second innings, batting at number 10. And his previous best innings in first-class cricket was 26. So a good win by England.
Noel,
Yes.
Noel, Joe Root, there's a statistic, something to the effect that Joe Root spent more time out batting or in the field than the rest of the Sri Lankan team put together.
Believe it.
And that he was actually suffering from cramps in the second test because he, dehydration and lack of salt and all the rest of it. His batting, I don't know if you saw it, but it was a total masterclass against spin, particularly the sweep shot.
But when he got out in the last ball of the day,
yes, freakishly, in my view, just hit the leg side player. But
brilliant bit of fielding, though.
Yeah. It was, wasn't it, Paul? But they, to be fair, England didn't so much win that as Sri Lanka lost both tests. They just collapsed in one of the innings, the first in the first match and the second in the second match. Otherwise, it could have been quite close.
That business with the cramp, one of the commentators mentioned about a New Zealand cricketer that got cramp.
Did you watch it on YouTube?
Yes. I watched it on YouTube. It is so funny. He does a sweep shot, and then finishes flat.
Even the umpires are laughing, aren't they?
They're all laughing. They take the stretcher on.
We're all very sympathetic.
A bit like when you get one of the goalies, everybody laughs at that as well, don't they?
Yeah. The one that gets hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you read that has put Joe Root fourth in the all-time run scorers for England?
Yeah, ahead of David
He's
Gower.
overtaken Jeff Boycott and somebody else. He's now fourth.
David Gower, I think.
Was it David Gower? It might be, yeah.
He's gone past Peterson as well.
He's got the highest run rate, I think, of them all.
He's scored a double century. Wouldn't he have been only the second batsman to do it in consecutive tests?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's quite correct.
And who was the first?
Wally Hammond, I believe.
Yes.
Wally Hammond, it must be.
Yeah.
He's only just below an average of 50 in Test cricket now, isn't he?
It was good when the ball changed colour.
Yeah.
Yes.
Up in
the whitewash.
White paint.
Yes.
Johnny Bairstow.
Johnny Bairstow was on form, but it's interesting to see Sibley and Crawley struggling against the spinners. The Root, it was just second nature. What's the problem, Just he could read it so much more easily.
Right then. Go on, Lol.
I've just mentioned that Sri Lanka scored their lowest ever score on this ground of 126. Does anybody know what the lowest ever score by any team was on this ground? And it was only 2.5 years ago.
Probably England.
Several days on bike anyway, so it was South Africa in July 2018. They scored 73.
About 80.
No.
73. Scored 73. Right, we're nip on to football. The big news yesterday was that Chelsea have sacked manager Frank Lampard after only 18 months in charge, with former Paris Saint-Germain boss Thomas Tuchel expected to replace him. 42-year-old Lampard was appointed on a 3-year contract when he left Derby to replace Maurizio Sarri at Stamford Bridge in July 2019. In his first season in charge, Chelsea finished 4th in the Premiership and got to the Cup final. Although Chelsea were top of the Premier League in early December, a poor run of 5 defeats in the last 8 games has led to him losing his job.
Terrible.
Terrible. Crisis.
I think it's Abramovich, I know he owns the club, but should somebody just pull him to one side and say, excuse me, mate, your judgment's crap. 10 managers, you're on your 11th. I mean, that's Lampard put back for what, 12, 18 months? My heart bleeds, but it's unfair. It's unfair. He wasn't qualified. He hadn't done the time. He's a great footballer. Doesn't make him the great manager. And yet he was put in the deep end, told to get on with it. No, the restrictions on transfer and all the rest of it. Abramovich should be, I think, fined.
200 million, I think Chelsea have spent recently. 200 million, and I think they're 9th in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just nonsense. Total
I
nonsense.
think Paris Saint-Germain as well were 3rd in their league when he got.
And that man's been lined up from PSG for some time. Lampard's just waiting for the sword of Damocles. I think Abramovich should be taken to task by the Football League, say, that's not the way you run a side. You're bringing the game into disrepute.
Yeah.
Paying him
Yeah, I agree with what you say about Abramovich. I had to smile at his statement, thanking Frank for his integrity.
Well, you can do that when your wallet's busting your trousers,
Integrity. I don't know the meaning of the word, does he?
Yeah, no.
Going to put Abramovich in front of a committee to answer for his actions, and Donald Trump is the chairman.
And the lawyers, Giuliani.
We have an expression, Paul, in the services. We have an expression, Paul, in the services, that if it weren't for the waste of perfectly good ammunition, we'd shoot the so and so.
Right. Okay.
Right, well, a little bit more on management. Rafael Benitez has left his role as the manager of Dalian Professional after 18 months in charge of the Chinese Super League club. The 60-year-old former Newcastle, Liverpool and Chelsea boss had a season remaining on his contract. However, the Spaniard and his coaching staff have stepped down amid the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. COVID-19 has changed our lives, said Benitez. The pandemic is still here for all of us, and supporting our families has been the priority when making this decision. At Cardiff, they've named Mick McCarthy as manager for the rest of the season, following the sacking of Neil Harris, who lost his job after 6 straight defeats, left the club 15th in the championship. Ex-Republic of Ireland and Wolves boss, McCarthy, left Cypriot champions Apoel earlier this month. Ironically, Cardiff's next championship game is tomorrow night at Barnsley, McCarthy's hometown club, where he began his professional playing career 44 years ago in 1977.
Can I ask the team their professional opinion? Is Mick McCarthy arguably the most boring man on earth?
After me?
No, slightly ahead of you.
You're asking for trouble, Ian.
Yeah, I've seen him in doing after-match interviews, and he's funny. He's really good.
Is he?
Oh yeah, they were. I mean, I remember one time, a lady reporter, and she foolishly asked him. I think it was the guy who's. I think he's now at Wigan. Anyway, this forward was missing. I couldn't play in the game, and she says, "Do you think you've missed Fred Smith or whatever his name was today?" He says, "Oh no, we'd never miss our leading goal scorer. Who not only scored half of our goals, he's also set the other half up. So we won't miss him at all." Didn't ask any more questions.
Let's cut to the chase. Are you, Ian, are you slagging Barnsley off?
No. When I slag Barnsley. When I slag Parky home off.
There's no need to do it.
No. Honestly, what you see sometimes on the TV nothing like him. He was an absolute joy, and he was happy to talk afterwards as well. So he was a good guy.
Well, I'll view him in a new light now, Keith. Thank you for that. You learned.
Did anybody
Amazing, John.
read that stupid article about Rafa Benitez?
Which one?
This was supposed to be a serious journalist who said he'd left China to take over at Hillsborough. It was supposed to be a serious journalist.
We've got a better class of COVID at Hillsborough.
I'm going to say it was probably the COVID that did that.
What's the chances of him taking over at Chelsea again?
Nil.
Nah, they've
already got him
set
lined up.
haven't they?
Yeah.
Newcastle.
Back to Newcastle, perhaps.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that bridge is burnt.
Well, then you could get Steve Bruce back at Sheffield Wednesday, couldn't you? You'd like
Or
that?
United.
Or
United. Or
Yeah.
United, yeah. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
really good for United.
Or the
Excellent.
amalgamated Sheffield teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually
Don't you
spoken-
start that again.
I spoke to somebody at Hillsborough about the chances of Steve Bruce going back, and he said hell would freeze over before it happened.
Well, you've had a bit of
He
snow, haven't
said
you?
that before he'd leave.
It's a bit cold today. It is a bit cold today.
Yeah, not going to happen. Carry
You know what
on.
you s- Lowell's a troublemaker, you know. Have you seen how he winds us up every week?
Yeah, every week he stirs and then sits back. and watches it.
Troublemaker.
What's the latest on the Wednesday job, John? Do you know?
Pardon?
What's the latest on the Wednesday?
I've got a clue. Well, I'm just thinking it's great. Cardiff sacked their manager and they've got one appointed within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I can't remember how long ago it is since we had a manager. I can't remember how long it is since we sacked.
I read an article.
Derek Dooley.
Signed.
Derek Dooley was the last good one, yeah.
I read an article which said that Chancery had appointed 2 men to search for the manager.
Holy Grail.
And the problem is they were both chasing different men. One of them wanted Paul Cook and the other wanted Chris Coleman. But having said that, that was the same man who said that Rafael Benitez had left China to come to Hillsborough. So I wouldn't put too much faith in it.
We'll not have a manager because
Just need
it's
to
cost money. We bought 2 players. We've got 2 players and they're both on free transfers.
Have we got another one, Dave? Have we got another one?
You're lucky. You're lucky.
Hutchinson's
Yeah,
back.
you've got Sam Hutchinson.
Oh yeah, he's back, is he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
signed for the season.
Do you realise yet your manager's gone at Sheffield Wednesday?
I didn't know we'd got one.
Well, there you are.
Is he injured, Hutchinson?
They've actually done better since he's gone.
He'll appoint
Yeah,
Wilson.
well, it is actually a great pity that we've missed these last 2 games because we were on a run. We weren't playing well, but we were playing as a team. We'd won 4 and drawn 1, and all of a sudden we're not playing. And teams like Rotherham and Derby have got their act together, and all of it, we're back in trouble again.
He'll appoint Neil Thompson until the end of the season.
Yeah, I think you're right, Keith.
No.
And I think he ought to have done that in the first place.
But by which time you'll be a League One side, so you can get a cheaper manager, won't you?
Yeah.
It's gone quiet.
I don't think money's his problem. I think ignorance is his. He doesn't
It is,
actually
you're right.
know what he's doing.
You're right. I think he'd spend hundreds of millions if he was allowed to. Spend it badly, but he'd spend it.
John, we've just got our money back from season tickets last
Oh, have
year.
you?
Yeah.
Good.
£179.
Well, I was talking to Stuart's wife over weekend, and they'd got season tickets for Stuart and their grandson, and they've applied for the money back on basis that Stuart's passed away, and they've asked for priority, and they've been waiting weeks. Still no sign. You'd think they'd give us something like that top priority, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Ron.
Yeah.
Ignorance is preceded by arrogance.
Yeah.
Alphabetically.
A little, I don't know how true this story. I don't know how true this story is, but my son has contacts in Thailand. He used to work.
We don't want to know about
that over there. And apparently, Chansiri's father has kicked him out of the business. Still got his money, not a problem with his money. He's kicked him out of the business because he was a useless businessman and he didn't want him ruining the John West business. So that says something if his own dad don't want him in the business.
Yeah, sounds a bit fishy though.
Yeah. Only the best.
Right. Well, where are we?
Just one quickie. You've been talking about it anyway. That Wednesday have re-signed Sam Hutchinson on a free transfer from Paphos in Cyprus, subject to international clearance. He joined Paphos last summer when his contract with the Owls expired, but he left them in December to become a free agent and now rejoins the Owls, for whom he played 151 times. Now, do you want to call it a rest now, Keith? Just two more items afterwards.
He's playing with Athos and Aramis.
With 1 minute 10, 1 minute 6, 5, 4.
We'll be able to start having bets again, Dave, about what minute he gets booked in, won't we?
Yeah, all sent off.
Yeah, all sent off. Yeah.
All carried on.
With less than a minute to go.
Wrap it up.
Let's wrap this half up and just finish off at the start of the second half. And then
only 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Ah, but that's a long 5 minutes. Yeah.